Hello everybody, I am the Gatefold, and welcome to my very first video on this channel. Today I thought I'd just give you guys a quick little look through of my record collection, because since my channel is called the Gatefold, I thought you guys would be interested kind of in what kind of records I like to listen to. Since this is my first video, I thought I'd give you a look through my record collection. I'm going to try and go through most of the titles here. I'm not going to spend too much time on each record. Hopefully this video won't be too long, but I already know it's going to be over half an hour long. So, let's dive straight into it. This is the kind of music I listen to. I have more records than this, but these are the records I enjoy listening to. This shelf was too small, so I had to put 45s in here, which I have not too many 45s, but quite quality 45s over quantity, I guess. So let's start off with my record collection. Sorry, getting in the way of the light here. Let's start off with the very first record in my collection. This is the Fifth Dimension Portrait. Interesting one. Then we got Aerosmith's Get Your Wings. Great album, I really love Aerosmith. We're getting into Alan Parsons' project, one of my favorite bands. This is Eye in the Sky. And then I also have, by Alan Parsons' project, the I, Robot album. Most of these are in alphabetical order by the artist. If it's a person's name, it's the last name. If it's a band, it's just the first letter of the band's name. And then they're also alphabetized by the name of the album, not by year, which might get kind of confusing. This is Asia Alpha. And then right here we have Asia. After that we have, is that Asia? Yeah. We have one of my favorite albums. This is Syd Barrett, The Madcap Laughs. I really enjoy Syd Barrett, especially his work on The Piper at the Gates of the Dawn album by Pink Floyd. This is the Best of the Beach Boys. There's just some Beach Boys songs on there. Not too big into the Beach Boys. I love Pet Sounds. I don't have Pet Sounds though, on vinyl at least. I have the Beach Boys, Spirit of America. I have the Beatles Red Album, which is the 1962 to 1966 compilation, 2 LPs. And then I have the Blue Album, 1967 to 1970. Really quite enjoy those. After that we have more Beatles. Yes, the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. Great album. I got this in Detroit when I went to some flea markets. Actually, it wasn't in Detroit. It was, where was it? It was Gibraltar Trade Center in, wherever it is. Mount Clemens, yeah. This is the Magical Mystery Tour. Another great Beatles album. This one has the book inside, no pages missing. It's pretty cool. Then we have, the Revolver album by the Beatles. This is, an older pressing, and I also have, a slightly newer pressing of it. The only difference really is that one has the capital rainbow label, and the other one just has the standard like burgundy red one. I have Rubber Soul, another great find. I found this for like $1, I believe. And here's a reissue of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I believe this is a reissue of the UK version, because it has the little loop at the end. And then I got an original issue of the Beatles Sgt. Pepper's. This is the US edition. It's a limited edition, and it's factory sealed. So I try and keep that safe there in its little sleeve. And now the sleeve's sticking out. I'll fix that later. We have Black Sabbath's debut album. I really love me some Black Sabbath. We have Black Sabbath's Master of Reality, which you can't really see. If I catch it in the light, you might be able to see some of it. I have, this is a reissue, Black Sabbath's Paranoid on Rhino Records, I think, put this out. Really nice reissue, sounds amazing. I have Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I'm a huge Black Sabbath fan, especially the early Sabbath. I have Sabotage, Black Sabbath. And then, do I have another Black Sabbath album? Yeah, one more. This is We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll. It's like a compilation of some of their best songs, which I really quite enjoy. We have Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I don't know much about this, but I've given it a spin. It's pretty interesting. I enjoy it. This is Blue Oyster, the Blue Oyster Cult. Tyranny and Mutation, I believe this is. It's a pretty cool record. I quite enjoyed it. I got this in London, Ontario, at a pawn shop. I got Bon Jovi here. Just self-titled, I assume. We got David Bowie's Aladdin Sane. Rest in peace, David Bowie. I just ordered his new album, Black Star, on vinyl. Hasn't showed up yet. A pretty rough condition copy of David Live. It's kind of in rough shape, but it's a great album. And my last Bowie album here, David Bowie, Let's Dance. Has China Girl on it. Pretty good song. Now we have some Cheap Trick at Bokadan or something. I always pronounce names wrong. I apologize. We got Chicago. Is this facing the right way? Yeah. Their greatest hits. So, yeah. Like Chicago, like me some Chicago. The Clash. Amazing album. I really quite enjoyed this. Gave it a spin the other day since I recently just got it. Here we have Andrew Dice Clacy, I believe, with Dice. Very X-rated album. But very funny. We have Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits. We have Killer, another great Alice Cooper album. This one's a little bit beat up though. A very beat up album here. This is Creedence Clearwater Revival, I believe. Bayou Country. I have to actually check because the end label is all ripped off. And then we have some more Creedence here, I think. This is Creedence Clearwater Revival. Willie and the Poor Boys. Is that the name of the album? I think so. Yeah, it's the name of the album. Now we're getting into the best of Deep Purple. I love me some classic rock, as you can see. Deep Purple in Rock. I love this album cover. Machine Head, probably my favorite Deep Purple album. Deep Purple album, I apologize. We have Purple Passages, Deep Purple. And last Deep Purple album is Who Do You Think We Are? Another great album. Now we have some Def Leppard. We have, this one is Hysteria. I really love the Def Leppard album covers. They're just always awesome. And then Def Leppard Pyromania. Next we have Derringer. Interesting album. I picked it up for pretty cheap at my local record store. Just wanted to give it a listen, and it was awesome. I liked it. Here we have Tooth and Nail by Dokken. Really awesome album cover. We have The Doors 13. I need to get a better condition copy of this. But it plays pretty well. Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. Amazing Greatest Hits album with all the amazing Bob Dylan songs I really quite enjoy to listen to. Here we have the Eagles. Eagles of the Long Run. I got this in London at a record store in a mall. We got Electric Light Orchestra, a New World Record. This is a pretty interesting one. We got Electrica Asylum September releases, which is an in-store thing, I believe, because this is not for a resale. It basically just has quite a few interesting songs that Elektra put out or something. There's like Doors and other things, like there's Queen on here. It's a very interesting compilation, double LP, and it was pretty cheap, and I'm a huge Queen fan, so I picked it up just because it had a Liar on it. Here's Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. I really enjoy this album cover. I don't know. An amazing album. Definitely up there, probably my top 15. We got Foghat, Night Shift. Foreigners 4. Here we have Frampton Comes Alive. We have Peter Gabriel. This is his Scratch album, they call it. Well, it's actually Peter Gabriel. There's a number for it. I can't remember, but this is the Scratch album. And then we have a Peter Gabriel 12-inch single, In Your Eyes, which has like the little punctuate. Wow, I'm bad with words today. Just has a little hole poked in it from when the disc jockey used to use it. Here we have Art Garfunkel, Angel Claire. I love Simon and Garfunkel, so I had to pick up a lot of his solo albums when I saw them for really cheap. So I also have Breakaway. And then I also have Fate for Breakfast. I love this album cover. His voice is just so amazing. I quite enjoy some Simon and Garfunkel and Art Garfunkel's solo work. This is Scissors Cut. We have Watermark here with an old tag from the store I bought this from. So, yeah, quite an interesting cover. Now we have some Genesis. This is Genesis Abacab. There. We got through it together. Teamwork, yes. We have Duke here. Genesis is Duke. And then we also have a really good Genesis album. This is Invisible Touch. Phil Collins, it's basically like a Phil Collins solo album to me, but it's Genesis and I love it. And then Wind and Wuthering, which is, it's debatably probably one of my favorite, like, classic Genesis albums, like, just one of the older ones. David Gilmour, since I love Pink Floyd, this is his self-titled release, David Gilmour. And then we also have David Gilmour's About Face. Oh, got a little bit ripped there, didn't realize that. I got those at a record show. Here we have the best of the Guess Who. Guns N' Roses. Lies exclusive, The Shocking Truth. Picture exclusive. I don't know the name of this album. What is it called? It's just numbers. Okay. Here we have George Harrison. Love the Beatles. Had to get a few of his solo albums, so I have George Harrison self-titled. And then I have Somewhere in England. So I'm not showing all the covers for these. Here we have Heart. Billy Idol. Don't Stop. Probably one of my very first records. And as a young boy, I put magnets on the back of it for some reason and completely ripped the back of the cover before I knew I was going to get into vinyl collecting, just because I liked the cover and wanted to hang it on my locker at school. And here we have Billy Idol's Rebel Yell. Here we have some Michael Jackson we're starting to get into. This is Michael Jackson's Bad, special 12-inch single mixes. This is not the actual Bad album. I do have it, but I've misplaced it over the years, so I have to get that back somehow. This album I paid ridiculously too much for. This is Michael Jackson's Dangerous, first pressing, Canadian pressing. Here we have Off the Wall, one of my multiple copies of Off the Wall. If we go on here, we have another copy of Off the Wall. Time for me to get down a little bit. Whoops, I knocked over a tripod. We have Thriller, 2 copies of it. My copy, and then my dad's old copy from when he was a kid. Just because I like that thing. Oh, actually I have 3 copies, because I have the picture disc as well, which has an amazing art on it. I quite enjoy some Michael Jackson. I used to be really obsessed with Michael Jackson, even as far as having my own Michael Jackson YouTube channel. I have the best of Michael Jackson on vinyl. Michael Jackson with the Jackson 5. I have the Jackson 5. Paid $1 for this one. It's pretty cheap. I have the Jacksons Going Places. Also $1 for this one. I have the Jacksons live album. This one's severely water damaged, unfortunately, but I probably got that really cheap. Oh, we have the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which the color on my camera is getting this completely wrong. This is actually purple. It's showing up blue for some reason on my camera. I need to adjust that. Sorry. We have Joan Jett, Bad Reputation, which has a 45 for Summertime Blues inside of it, a promotional 45. Billy Joel, 52nd Street. Billy Joel and Innocent Man, another one of my very first records. And Billy Joel Glass Houses. Now we have some Elton John. This is Friends soundtrack. I also have an Elton John Greatest Hits album, but it's not in this collection for some reason. And then a rare German 45 RPM, but it's a 12-inch. It's an Elton John band featuring John Lennon and the Muscle Shoals horns, or Shoals horns, or whatever. Yeah, it's a German 12-inch with John Lennon on it. I'm a huge John Lennon fan, as you'll see when we get to the L section, but I had to have this. It was pretty expensive. Not really, it was only $12, but it's something I'm not going to come across again, and now it's not going back into the shelf properly, so yeah. A lot of great songs on it. Well, only 3, but yeah. We have Journey. This is Evolution. And now we're getting into some Carole King here. This is Rhymes and Reasons. My favorite Carole King album, Tapestry. This belonged to my aunt who passed away a few years ago, so whenever I listen to it, it reminds me of her. It's a very personal record for me. Carole King, Touch in the Sky. Or Touch the Sky, I'm sorry. Here we have Kiss. This is Kiss's Alive. I do have the booklet in here. And then I have Kiss Hotter Than Hell. Here we have an amazing album, totally underrated. This is I Stand Alone by Al Cooper. It's kind of hard to come across from what I've heard, but It's a very interesting album. If you can get your hands on it, definitely get it. Another album that's kind of not very popular, Lake. This is a German band, and they're kind of just like 70s greatness. If you love classic rock, if you love just earworm songs that will get stuck in your head all day, this is definitely an album for you. Lake. Definitely recommend it. Now we're getting into my Led Zeppelin collection. Here's Led Zeppelin's 2. I have Led Zeppelin 1. I just forgot to put it back on the shelf because I was listening to it earlier and it's on my turntable. So yeah. And then I have Led Zeppelin's In Through the Outdoor. I bought this at a yard sale and the person did not have the outer sleeve for it. It was only like 25 cents, so I just decided to get it because I love Led Zeppelin and it's really hard to put this record back on the shelf. I apologize. Here we're getting into John Lennon now, so you'll see my vast John Lennon collection. Here I have John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band, their first album. Here's Double Fantasy. I have Imagine, which I just recently got, which is surprising. I have Milk and Honey, the Gatefold version. I don't know if there wasn't a Gatefold version, but yeah. This is Mind Games. Rock and Roll. This is Shaved Fish. It's kind of like a greatest hits album. And then my favorite John Lennon album, which is debatable because some people actually don't like this album at all. This is Sometime in New York City. I just really enjoy this album, and I paid massively too much for it, but that's fine. Here we have Julian Lennon. Valet, or Valet, or no, that's not Valet. I'm getting that completely wrong, but yeah, that's the title. That's Julian Lennon, and it's a great album. He sounds a lot like John Lennon. It's just uncanny. We have Meatloaf's Bad Out of Hell. I'm not too big into the Meatloaf. We have McCartney 2. A very interesting album. I don't really like the production on some of the tracks, but it's an interesting one. Here we have MFSB, and the name of the album is Universal Love. I don't know. It was just an album from the 70s. I saw it on the cheap, and decided I wanted to give it a listen. Still haven't spun that one yet. Probably going to spin this after I'm done the review. I mean, not review, the video. The Monkees' Greatest Hits. Got that at a yard sale for pretty cheap. We have Nazareth's Greatest Hits. A lot of Greatest Hits albums. Oops, slightly naughty whoops, slightly naughty cover coming up. This is Nirvana's Nevermind. That did not help the situation. Then we have Mike Oldfield, Tubular Bells. Quite an interesting sort of prog rock sort of album. I quite enjoy it. Some local music. This is Orphan Choir, just self-titled. Band from the area which I live in, and I quite enjoy listening to local music, so that was a good pickup. We have Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon with the stickers stuck all over it. And then we have Pink Floyd's The Wall. For Pink Floyd, I don't have very much on vinyl. I have their, not Discovery box set, their Shine On box set from the 90s. I have Robert Plant, since I love Led Zeppelin. This is Pictures at 11. I pulled that out off the shelf, and now it's going to be very hard to get back on, isn't it? So, deal with this angle for a second. You can do it. I believe in you guys. Just sit it out, sit it out. It's almost over. Okay, good. Nothing happened. This is Poco. Legend. Yeah. I just kind of like the cover art. It was cheap, so I picked it up. We have The Police, Synchronicity, which has Every Breath You Take on it. We have music of Cole Porter by Irving Joseph and Orchestra. I only bought this because at my school we are doing a production of Anything Goes, and I wanted to give this a listen. So yeah. This is Prince's 1999. Purple Rain, Prince and the Revolution. Here we have Psychedelic Furs. This is Midnight to Midnight. Interesting cover. Here we have Queen's debut album. We have News of the World by Queen. We have The Game, the reflective cover variant, and the just plain gray cover. A Night at the Opera, a very well-loved copy. This is yellow, but that's fine. An awful album, Queen plus Paul Rodgers, The Cosmos Rocks. I filed this under Queen plus Paul Rodgers, not just Queen, because this is not a Queen album. I will never consider this a Queen album. The band is so small that they're just sticking out there in the corner. This is a double LP album. I listened to it. It's not horrible, but it's not Queen, so I don't know. This is REO Speedwagon. This is Wheels Are Turning. There's a little sticker there. I don't know. This is the Rolling Stones. This is the button one. What's it called? Ooh, give me a second. This is called the something buttons. Oh, button. Between the Buttons. That took me far too long. I'm sorry. This is a mono copy. Here we have another Rolling Stones album. I'm far too lazy to look for the name of this, but I'm gonna do it anyways, just because I want to. This is called, oh yeah, Rock and Roll or something. I don't know. Give me a second. I must find out the name of this album now. The album is called It's Only Rock and Roll. Okay. That took me far too long. I'm just going to put this down here so I can put that back in later and stop wasting your time. Okay, so we're at Rolling Stones. So, we have Rolling Stones Still Life, American Concert, 1981. This is my dad's. I took it from his collection. Here we have Rolling Stones Tattoo You. Amazing album. Start me up on it, I believe. Does it? It does, I think. Sorry. We have David Lee Roth. I quite enjoy Van Halen. This one's called... I don't even want to read that. I'm sorry. I'm too lazy. Here's Rush, A Farewell to Kings. Canadian band, hey. We have... I put this under Simon & Garfunkel, even though it's technically a soundtrack to The Graduate. This is The Graduate's soundtrack. Amazing album. Amazing movie. We have Simon & Garfunkel's Greatest Hits. I have 2 copies of this. We have Wednesday Morning, 3 a.m. Simon & Garfunkel. Has the Sound of Silence on it. We have Simon & Garfunkel, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. This has Scarborough Fair on it. Quite an interesting one. And then a Paul Simon solo album. This is just called Paul Simon. It's his second studio album, I believe. Here we have The Spoons. This was owned by a radio station. So this is Bridges Over Borders. Interesting 80s sounding music. This is Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen. Don't really enjoy that album, but I do enjoy Darkness on the Edge of Town. Very amazing album. Kind of chewed up by a dog there. A lot of this vinyl was from yard sales. Wasn't taken very good care of, but I can still listen to them. This is The Staccatos and the Guess Who. A wild pair. Yeah. Oh. Ha 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 ha. That was punny. We have Ringo Starr, Goodnight Vienna, or Vina, or whatever you want to say. Very interesting cover art here. I love Ringo Starr, and my favorite Ringo Starr solo album is Ringo. It has a booklet in it. My favorite album at the moment, the one I listen to the most, is Steely Dan's Pretzel Logic. There's something about this album, I just don't know what it is, but I enjoy this album so much, especially the title track, Pretzel Logic. Here we have Steppenwolf Gold. It's kind of sideways. Yeah. And then we have Steppenwolf Live. There's a wolf, and it's very Steppen-like. And then Steppenwolf Slow Flux. Now we're getting into some Supertramp. Here's Breakfast in America. There's New York City, made out of dining utensils and breakfast stuff. I don't know. We have Supertramp, Creme of the Century. We have Supertramp's Crisis, What Crisis? I enjoy this album cover so much. It's probably one of my favorite album covers by Supertramp, and probably one of my favorite album covers from the era. Okay, now we're moving down. I'm going to look at the 45s after we're done with the LPs. So, let me just finish up on the LPs. Only this much left. So, let me just take that album away for a second. Here is Supertramp's Even in the Quietest Moments. I'm just going to kind of flip through them over here. Here is Supertramp's Famous Last Words. Amazing album. I'm going to try and move my foot out of the shot. Supertramp Paris. Here is Three Dog Night, Around the World with Three Dog Night. It's a 2-record set. Very, very thick. I quite enjoy the packaging on this, actually. If I didn't drop it. The records are kind of like held in by like these interesting cardboard things. I'm too tired to come up with actual terms. It's pretty late. We have Three Dog Night was captured live at the Forum. We have Three Dog Night Harmony. And Three Dog Night, this one's called Seven Separate Fools. That took me a long time to read. I have Bonnie Tyler, Faster Than the Speed of Night. I have another cover variant, which is all black, no white around it. Pretty cool. I have We Are the World. It's USA Africa. And then I have another We Are the World. I believe that's a single. Yeah, it's a 12-inch single, and this is an actual album thing. I don't know. We have Van Halen. Is this their first album? Is this Van Halen? Yeah. Or something like that. And then we have 1984 by Van Halen. Absolutely iconic album cover. With a baby lighting up there. Don't let up, babies. And then we have Van Halen's Diver Down. We have Rusty Warren, Band in Boston. Amazingly funny album. And then we have Rusty Warren, Songs for Sinners. This is even older than that one. I believe this is 1959. She's hilarious. I really love me some more Rusty Warren. Interesting one. This is Roger Waters' Amused to Death double LP picture disc set. This is a numbered edition. There's only a few of them, I guess. My camera's not focusing. I need to tap the touchscreen with my nose to focus. There, that worked. It's called Amused to Death. This is my copy number. It's number 854. Out of who knows how many. And it just has like really interesting art on it. It doesn't sound the greatest because picture discs never do, but it's quite an amazing album, and I enjoy playing this every now and then. It's on the wall. It's on the level of the wall for me. Almost as great as the wall. We have West Side Story. It's a soundtrack. Really enjoy the musical. We have The Who by Numbers. Not a huge Who fan, but I have a few Who records and The Who's greatest hits here, as well as The Hooligans by The Who, and It's Hard by The Who. Oh, and one more, Meaty, Beady, Big, and Bouncy. It's an interesting name. We have Robin Williams, Reality, What a Concept. This is a hilarious album. If you love comedy, I highly recommend picking this album up. I got this one for $1 at a thrift store in London. It was amazing. I really enjoyed that album, and I still put it on and continue to laugh at the same jokes. It's really a shame that he's gone now. We have Wings, At the Speed of Sound. That kind of fell over. I apologize. We have London Town by the Wings. That's also falling over. Everything is going wrong. Of course it is. No. We have The Wiz. I love the music. The movie was alright, although the music is very good. And then we have Tales from Topographic Oceans by Yes, and the Yes album. And that is all of the records I have. All the LPs I have. And then now we're just going to take a really quick look at my 45s, since we have a little bit of time. I'm just going to show off some of the main ones. I have Grand Funk. We're an American band. This is a clear 45. Well, it's see-through yellow. It also has Creepin' on it. I have quite a few interesting 45s. Some noteworthy ones are these ones with sleeves. I have Only Time Will Tell by Asia. Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. And then this one I bought brand new. This is Michael Jackson's Behind the Mask and Hollywood Tonight. This is off of his Michael album, which was released after his death. And then I have Yoko Ono, Beautiful Boys, and then John Lennon's Woman is on this side. Here I have Fleetwood Mac, Hold Me, and then Eyes of the World is the B-side. I have Blondie, this is The Tide is High. What's the B-side? Susie and Jeffrey. Available only on this single. Ooh, that's cool. We have an awful song, but I don't know. This is Queen, Body Language. I keep it in this little plastic sleeve thing, because reasons. And then the other side, the B-side, is, oops, I'm touching my records, I'm sorry. Life is Real, song for Lennon. Which was a song written for John Lennon. And if you read a few of the Queen books or watch some documentaries, there are some very questionable lines. The line, guilt stains my pillow, was supposed to be something a little bit more X-rated. I'm glad they changed it to Guild Stains, to be honest. This is more local music from a local store. This is Cellos. They're a pretty good band. I keep my things like this. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of like noise rock, sort of. Punk. It's very interesting. It doesn't really have a genre I could really put it into. And then that's all I have for the ones that have sleeves. Other than that, there's just some other ones I'll go through really, really quickly. There's Earth, Wind, and Fire, Reasons. We have Electric Avenue by Eddie Grant. My dog's barking. We have Eye of the Tiger. We have Jesse's Girl. We have Urgent by Foreigner. Anything else on here? Waiting for a Girl Like You. Okay. Here we have Whoops, Everything Is Falling. We have Eye in the Sky by Alan Parsons Project, which is off of their Alan Parsons Project album up there, called Eye in the Sky, I believe. This is Gemini. We have R.E.M., a live single. This is Love Is All Around, and then a radio song. This is Cher, I Found Someone, and then We All Sleep Alone, a remix, I guess. We have, ooh, it's getting on my floor. We have Double Vision by Foreigner. If my camera would actually focus, can you focus? Yes, I can. Nope. I apologize. So yeah, we have Foreigner. Some more 45s here. These all don't have any protective cases. So there's the Grand Funk one. Here we have, I'll have to put these on my lap. We have Play the Game by Queen. Anything on the B-side? The B-side is A Human Body. This is an interesting one on Buddha Records, Dreamweaver. And then House on the Holly Road. Yep. Another one on Buddha Records. This is Chewy Chewy by Ohio Express. And then on this side we have Firebird. More Queen. We have Queen's You're My Best Friend. And on the B side is 39, which I always thought was better than You're My Best Friend, but my own personal opinion. And then the last one we have on this side is Queen Rocket Prime Drive, and then Queen Need Your Loving Tonight. And then over here we have a few more, and then we'll end this video off. It's been almost 33 minutes almost now. We have this is on Atco, which is an interesting sort of, well, there's a hole punched in it. Didn't even notice that. This is Monday by Sonny and Cher. This needs to be cleaned. I spot that at a yard sale. And this is Little Man, Sonny and Cher. There's the hole poked through Sonny's name. I don't know. We have another Queen, 45. This is Don't Try Suicide, which is the B-side, which really should have been the A-side. I love Don't Try Suicide. And then another one, Bites the Dust, with someone who wrote a grade 6 talent show thing on here. But yeah. We have some Motown music here. This is Diana Ross, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And then on the B-side, I believe this is the B-side at least, Can It Wait Until Tomorrow. This one, I don't know why exactly I bought it. I bought it by accident. This is the Archies, Melody Hill. And then on the side is Sugar Sugar. This is an interesting label. Again, don't know why I bought it. This is I Thank You by Donny Hathaway and June Conquest. And then on the side, Just Another Reason. Some 70s music, I guess. Give it a listen. Here is, and the last one is the Ain't No Sunshine. It's an instrumental by Eddie Sine, or whatever, Sine. And then Hot Thang, instrumental. So that has been my record collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, or whatever YouTube does, I don't know. And if you have any suggestions for any other videos I should do, please leave it in the comments below. Any reviews of any of these records would be perfectly fine. And then the next video I should be posting will be an unboxing of Pink Floyd's Shine On box set, hopefully. So, thank you guys all for watching, and peace out, and rock on. I'm not going to do the symbol, because I'm not cool enough. Okay, bye.